I am not going to lie to you. I'm so excited for this show. If we haven't met before, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Becky and I, just like you, am a crafter. And one of my favourite things about crafting is learning new techniques and getting my teeth stuck into something that just gets your mojo back going. And that is exactly what this show is about. So if you're feeling the same, come on board, because I tell you what, we have got oodles coming up for you in this show. I've got creativity galore. I am joined today by the wonderful Bonnita and also the incredible Sara, who I have to say, I hope you don't mind me saying this, before the show she said she's very excited but a bit nervous. How come, Sara?
Well, not just a bit, if I'm being totally honest, okay? Not just a bit. So, what happened was, okay, lots of you will know the wonderful Bonnita. We've had her as a guest here on Colour Me Happy before. We're going to bring her up and introduce her in just a second. But actually, so Bonnita is someone who's worked with us now for about 18 months or whatever. Bonnita put our amazing discovery kit together that is the aqua-based discovery kit. She's a fantastic educator and she's one of these wonderful people. So I follow Bonnita on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll see all of her work all the time. It's very inspiring, okay? So picture this, okay? A couple of weeks ago, I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed and I come across this amazing image. And actually, we'll have to see if we can get you up the amazing image. You might have to see the original that I know Bonita's got it in front of her now. So you'll have to see this amazing image. I saw this amazing image and I reached out and I said, is there any chance, Bonnita, you could teach me how to do this live? Do you know what we'll do is we'll put the split screen up of me, and with the overhead camera, you'll be able to see that lovely picture on Bonita's end, okay? So I was scrolling through, have a little look at this, right? Scrolling through, and I saw this image, this one there, and I absolutely loved it. And I thought, right, I want to learn how to do that. Thought, executive privileges, I'll just reach out to Bonnita and ask Bonnita if she'll teach me how to do that. And I'm sure, because we do everything remotely these days, she doesn't have to be in the same room as me. We could literally be over Zoom, Skype, whatever it is, she could teach me how to do that. And then I thought, why don't I do it live on a show? Colour Me Happy is the one time in the week we all go into a bit of a colouring coma, we all have a play along. Instead of just me teaching you techniques, why don't we get someone in to teach me and you guys can watch all the time while she's teaching me? So yes, Becca, you're absolutely right. I am very nervous because that is a pretty advanced, I'll put the picture up again here for you, that is a pretty advanced picture that we're going to be doing. However, Bonnita assures me that I'm going to be able to manage to do that. Now, if you actually want to craft along with Bonnita and I at the same time, there's the brushes that you need there. And she's told me, and we're going to be using our aquatint jars, she's told me that I need the pink garnet, the cosmos, the amethyst, and the aquamarine. Those are the 4 colours that we're going to be using for this. But to be honest, I mean, I'm sure you could use any colours of your aquatints and they're going to be kind of fine to go with. That's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be walking along and Becky's going to be keeping us right. Basically, when I go into a colouring coma, Becky's going to chat with you. And also field all the questions through from you guys to Bonnita, because Bonnita's promised that we can ask her all sorts and she'll do as much as we want. This show is basically our opportunity, as in me and you, our opportunity to learn everything we possibly can from Bonnita. So now you can see why I'm excited and just a little tad nervous as well.
I am over the moonly excited and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Bonnita herself. Hi Bonnita, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, how are you?
Oh my God, I'll be honest with you, so excited. Honestly, I feel almost like I've had 5 cups of coffee, but I haven't. It's just really, really exciting. It's all about things that you love tonight, isn't it? I know that you've been working with your aqua pens for a long time. Am I right in saying that it was kind of your mum who introduced you to them?
It was, well remembered, yeah. Well, she introduced me to Spectrum originally, and then a friend of mine tried the aqua markers, and I was like, I have to give this a go. I'm one of those crafters that has to try everything. So I gave it a go, and it took me a few tries, I have to admit, because, you know, with any new tool, you have to get used to using them. And I just fell in love instantly because of the pigments, the colouring, just the magic. I call them my magic colour wands.
Oh,
that's their nickname.
Hey, that's brilliant. I love that. And I tell you what, we have got so many things on the show today to make you smile from ear to ear. We've got the likes of your aqua pens. We've got your wonderful tints as well. We've got things that could be helpful for your stamping too. But it really is all about the watercolours today. Bonnita, can I just ask you, if someone sat here watching at home and maybe they haven't delved into this yet, can anybody get involved with this? Or do you have to already be really good at painting, for example?
Absolutely not. No, a few of my followers that come and watch me on my YouTube lives and my Facebook, they actually get their kids involved. And there's one follower who actually gets her child involved quite often because it's such a nice way to make a mess. Because watercolour can be very unpredictable, and that's the joy about it, because you can have control over it, but sometimes we just need to let go of that control and just go with the flow, quite literally. And quite often when I'm working with the Spectrum Aqua products, I let them drive what comes out of it instead of me. You know, I'll have an idea in my head, but honestly, any age, my child has done some amazing stuff with the Spectrum because it's just so easy to use.
This is such a wonderful show for anyone then to get involved with. Do remember to make a note of today's date and time. You can watch this back whenever you're ready. Bonnita, we have got so many people who have been waiting for this show, talking about it on socials. We've got hundreds of people joining us and watching live right now on YouTube and on our Facebook as well. And if you do not as of yet follow Bonnita on YouTube, get yourself down there, but do be prepared to be so inspired. You need to get all of your crafting bits out of this instant. This is how you can find it. Easiest way is just by having a little search of a name. So you're looking for Bonnita Doodles and you will see a lovely face pop up there, and there is just so much inspiration on that. There really is. So you can get following there. Who fancies learning some techniques? Because we've got loads of different techniques we're going to be learning throughout the show, and we're going to have Bonnita teaching them to us and to Sara, who's going to be working on the spots.
Let me just get this right then, Bonnita. So what I need is a piece of watercolour card. Yep. So I've got my watercolour card, and so on Bonnita's recommendation, I cut my A4 sheet in half to A5 because she said it won't take as long to dry. Is that right?
Yep, you can either do A4, A5. I'm going to chop mine in a minute to A5. I think for now it's probably easier because we can get through it a bit easier as well. Less paper to have to cover. So yeah, that's fine.
Right, A5, and then I've got my 4 colours of the aqua tint jars. I've got my mixing palette, couple of the little pipettes to transfer the colour across, and then also paintbrush. Yes? Couple of paintbrushes.
Yep, that's right.
You know, I'm just trying to fill time now because I'm getting a little bit nervous to actually get started. So I'm just padding out a little bit here.
A bit. Do you have any kitchen roll or like tissue that you can just dab some of that colour away?
Kitchen roll. I've learnt that, I mean, I've already got it all over my fingers, but I've learnt that these lovely disinfectant wipes take it off your fingers better than anything else. Hand sanitizer all the way. Kitchen roll. I'm ready to go with the kitchen roll. Is that it? Is that literally what I need?
Pretty much, and if you don't have paint on your fingers, you're not having enough fun. So we know that you've had fun.
Okay, boss, right, I am ready to hand the reins over. Do you know, actually, before I do hand the reins over, before you start on the painting class, will you show everybody a few more of those other samples that you were showing me just before we started the show?
So you don't have to use the colours that I've mentioned in case you have a different colour preference. Sometimes when I do lives, I ask them to actually let me know what colours they like. And somebody said green and blue for the sky. I didn't think it worked that well, but when I did it, that is what it come out like, and it's amazing.
Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look. We've got lovely director George on. Is so enthused by what you're saying, Bonnita. he's so busy watching the screen. He's forgetting that we have to show everybody the rest of the screen. Right, go on. We've got you.
So these are sort of like the different colourways of things that you can do, and just ideas that once you've done the background, what you can do over the top. You're not just restricted to this type of thing. They're just endless, the ideas really that you can do with them. So the colourways can really, really vary. So I think that's going to depend on taste, but there's so many different things. I mean, these are with the aqua tints, and they're just so versatile.
It's absolutely unbelievable. So you're telling me with what you're going to teach me today, Bonnita, you honestly think I can do more than just the deers? I should be able to do a couple of those little different bits and pieces from this one technique we've learned?
I think after a bit of time and a bit of practice, I think the sky's the limit, honestly. I think the thing is when people start is they worry too much about an expectation. If you get rid of all those expectations and just have fun, you'll be amazed then what happens.
Right, come on then. I've put up long enough. I am ready and ready. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to go quiet because I can't talk and colour at the best of times. So Becky is going to chat with you and keep everybody moving along with what's going on. I am literally going to craft, and they'll focus on you and take you full screen, but every now and again they'll maybe cut back to me and see how I'm getting on.
Okay, I've pulled the camera down a little bit, so hopefully you can see what I'm working on a bit closer. I'm hoping I don't knock the camera. Again, it's up to you what colourways you want to do, but the first thing you want to do is get a big brush, either a nice big fluffy round brush or a flat brush. Then all we're going to do is get some water, and we're going to spread that over probably the 3/4.
I'm with you, don't worry me dear, I'm flat brushing, watering all over the back, like very wet, or just as in I'm totally dripping this, or just a little bit?
You don't want to oversaturate. Your paper's going to curl slightly, but if you're starting to puddle in areas, you've put too much down. So what you want to do is you just want to get enough down that when we go ahead and put the colour down, it will spread easily. And that's what we want to do. So all we're going to do is pick our colours now. Doesn't matter what order you put it in, it's entirely up to you. But I'm going to probably go Garnet and Aqua, I think. They're the two colours that I'm going to use.
Right. Garnet is the nice pinky one, and Aquamarine is the nice blue one. Now, you've obviously got yours in nice little, drop and pipette. So am I just going to decant a little bit of mine into these little droppers?
Yep, I mean, you can do it straight from the dropper if you want, because that's actually the most satisfying part of the background.
Right, go on then. Go on, we'll go with it.
Okay, so all I'm going to do is, let's just drip a couple of bits and watch the magic happen. Like so.
How many blobs about are you going to go for, or do you just go until you're ready, Bonnita?
I think you get the hang of it, but I generally, in one area, I'll do one blob because you can lay it up. So if you want it darker in a certain area, you can.
I see.
So if I go in with the amethyst, and I'm only going to, you'll sort of learn the more you use it. Like amethyst is a very strong pigment, but it's so beautiful. Mm. And if you see, I've left a little gap in the middle here.
Yeah.
So when I come with my brush, what I don't want to do is smush over the whole thing because it's then going to just turn muddy. All I'm going to do is just pick up and just push the brush around. Keep cleaning your brush out every now and then so you're not picking up too much of the different colours and blending them all in, because we want a nice variation.
And are you cleaning the brush off in the water, or are you cleaning it off on your paper towel?
Yeah, just giving it a quick clean, and I'm just pushing the water off. Excuse the leaf, I have no idea where that's come from.
Hey, it's like my craft room.
A bit of nature in the room. And then I'm just going to keep going like that until most of it is covered apart from this centerpiece. And then I'm going to move the brush away. I'm just going to clean it, get as much out as I can. I'm then going to get my tissue, and I'm just going to pull some more colour out from that middle. You can wet your tissue if you want to. I'm just going to wet the very tip and then just go in the very central area. And then the more you do it, the more you tend to pull out, and you sort of start getting this moon effect.
Yeah, wow, it looks like twilight. That's amazing.
And then what I'm going to do for me is I'm just going to get one sheet of clean kitchen roll.
Okay.
Pop it over the top. pull it back. I think that's probably enough. And then we have our main background ready.
Wow, that's amazing.
If you want to create clouds similar to this, you can just get your brush. Oops. Well, let's move to a smaller one actually. There we go. And then as long as it's clean, the water's clean, you can just push over the colour and it'll pull some of that colour out. And look how I'm travelling that colour over the moon.
Yes.
And I'm going to do the same the other way. Just like that. And then the last thing we need to do, that I like to do, not everybody has to do this, I'm going to get my big brush again. We don't want to oversaturate it, we don't want it too wet. And then we're going to get another brush or whatever's firm to hold, and then literally just tap.
Oh, okay.
Over the top.
Look at that effect.
And then just let it do its thing. If you don't like that effect, you can just simply get your towel and just stop it from going any further. I personally, it's one of my favourite effects to have.
I love that. It looks like sunlight dappling the ocean. It's wonderful.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've lost my moon a bit there, which isn't a problem. So I'm going to just get my kitchen roll again. I'm just going to dab it in the middle and hold it. And we're just going to pull that colour out. I'm just going to do that again. So this is how versatile it is, because you can go in and you can manipulate it a bit afterwards.
That's magical.
And there's my moon. I'm just going to make him a little bit rounder because he's lost his shape a bit. Just make him a little bit rounder. This is what I mean by the paint will determine how your picture sort of evolves.
Yeah.
It's quite a natural process and it sort of takes over a little bit and there's only so much control you can have, but that's the joy of it. Sometimes we need to let go in life and this is such a really good way of doing it with art and getting into the crafting. And that's pretty much your background done. And if you don't have patience like I don't, I'm terrible. I use a hairdryer on a cold setting is best. But for today, I'm just going to use a heat gun. And then all you need to do is allow that to dry before you move on to the next step.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, right.
How's it going
Should we get heat gunning then? The only thing I've done, so I'm getting an okay, Bonnita. The only thing I would say is I think I over-wet the card around where my moon was. I don't know if everyone kind of wants to see how mine's looking so far. And we'll give you a second to go and dry yours. So I know Bonnita kind of needs to go and dry hers. So I've managed to follow that. I've got the splatters just like Bonnita had there. I've just over-wet this little portion in the middle. Do you think that matters, Bonnita, or do I need to try and dry it a little bit more? Are we looking okay?
No, I think that's fine. I think it's just that nice soft effect. I think with watercolours you need to have that little bit of a mess effect. I think it works.
Okay, right. So right, you and I've got my heat gun. If they take me mic out, you and I can start doing our drying. Right.
Fabulous.
We'll be back with you. What couple of minutes? Give us a thumbs up when you're ready, Bonnita.
Whilst you're drying that away, we have had so many people messaging in. We've got people coming in from all over. I've got people in from Mississippi, North Yorkshire, I've got Michigan in with us, we've got San Diego in. We have got so many people messaging in for the wonderful Bonnita. Karen Fisher is saying, looking forward to this show. Hey, me too. I've been looking forward to this for absolutely weeks. It's fabulous. I've got Fred in saying, looking forward to the demonstration. Hey, how are you finding it so far? Is anyone else crafting along with us? If you are, do message in and let us know. Love Colour Me Happy shows, says Malia. I've got Hadasha in again. Hi, you were watching earlier on too, saying, I am very excited to learn from everyone. The Spectrum Noir line is my favourite from CC. It was my first purchase of the CC brand along with the Ultimate. That's fabulous. Do you know what? This is actually a really good set if you are starting out. And actually, we do have on the show in a little bit for you. Obviously, you can get it online. A beginner's set, which is the beginner's set collection. So if you are brand new, just finding it for you. If you are brand new and you do want to have a go at that, it is on there, it is on that web. So you can get involved with the starter pack itself and you are going to get absolutely everything that you need to get started with this. So if you are brand new, hi, oh, it's really nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us. Let me say to you that if you are brand new and today's your first order, guess what? You can get 20% off. I kid you not. So, although you've already got a massive saving, it should be £37 almost, or $53 almost. Today it's only £25 or $35. But if it is your first purchase, extra 20% off. So you are only going to be getting it for £20 only. So well worth treating yourself to it. We've had so many people messaging in. Hi Sarah and Becky. So happy to see Bonnita. She is so lovely and inspirational. Agree with you there. That's in from Joy. Oh, Bonnita's got a big smile on her face. We have had a question for you as well, Bonnita. Do you mind me asking how important is how important is it to have the correct type of paper for watercolours?
It's extremely important, actually. I think that's is quite often a beginner error when you start out. The reason why you need watercolour paper is it's textured in such a way that it allows the water to feed through the cotton of the paper.
Yeah.
If you use something like copier paper or smooth paper, it's just got nowhere to go. So the thing with watercolour paper is it doesn't have to be really textured. And in fact, that's why I love the Spectrum Noir watercolour paper. It's my favourite.
Yeah.
Because it's not overly textured. So when I scan in my artwork, I get really nice effect. But most definitely you have to use watercolour-based papers.
So you can grab them on screen now. And I would say, if you're anything like me as a crafter, you know, when you're trying something out for the first time, maybe you're treating yourself to some things today, you become obsessed, don't you? So the fact that you get 45 of those sheets for just £9.57 or $14.37 is fabulous. So do feel free to treat yourself. So we've dried off all of our inks and everything else. Where do we go to next?
If we have a look here, you'll see that it's dried very differently to how it was when it was wet. So you have to bear in mind that things do dry very differently, but I love that. I love the fact that it can be so different. And again, we have lost the moon slightly here, so it's still not too late. So I'm just going to grab a bit of kitchen roll again, and I'm just going to go in and just keep dabbing over where I want the moon effect to be. I'm not looking for perfection, I just want it a bit lighter. So that's already better. So we're ready for our first set of trees.
Exciting!
I'm ready, Bonnita.
Okay, so you're gonna want a brush probably around that size, which I think is a 6, or this says an 8, but I think it's roughly a size 6. So you don't want anything too thick, so we want nice, sort of spindly looking. And if you have one with a nice point on the end, then we can get some nice branches happening. So when you generally do this type of thing in nature, unless it's completely silhouetted, generally your lighter trees will be at the back, and then as you come forward they get darker and darker. So we're going to work on putting some lighter trees in first. So you're going to want to wet your brush slightly. Again, don't oversaturate it, and you can pick whatever colour you want. So I think I'm going to go with, let's go with pink garnet, because I love that colour. I'm just going to make a watered down version in the little side of my palette here. And then all I'm going to do is go from the top without too much pressure, and I'm going to just drag it down to the bottom. You've got a bit of shine happening there, so you probably won't see it very well because it's dried a little bit. So I want another one that's slightly paler, and we're just going to do one, let's do that here. So you can pick where you want it. It doesn't matter if they're wobbly, because trees are not perfectly straight. And then with your brush, if you can get it nice and flat, can you see how flat that is?
Yeah.
If you then turn it an angle, and you can just literally flick up from the side, and you can make these little branches.
So you're not reloading colour onto this then, you're almost just pulling it away.
Exactly, yeah. And to be honest, they're so saturated that they last so long. I've done so many pictures with these, and I've only just bought refills.
Wow, that's incredible.
They do last a very long time, so you can just pull out. You want to keep it quite simple. You don't want to overdo it. You can go over your little moon area there. You don't want lots of branches. You can go from the very edge, or you can go from the middle. Just sort of vary where they go, and maybe do some little ones on the edge there. So I've sort of done it really, really simply, which is all you need to do. I'm then going to pick my second colour, be my blue, my aquamarine. I'm going to water that down. And it's going to blend in with all the colours underneath, so it's going to look lovely and misty. So let's do one down this edge. And here I'm just going to pull out, do some branches.
That aquamarine is such a fab colour, and actually perfect because it's this one's birthstone aquamarine, isn't it? We've actually had quite a few people messaging in about the different colours. I really like this one. Karen has said that she saved the show for starters. That's a given. She's saved the show, but also she says, how awesome would that be as a Halloween background sky?
Perfect.
That'd look fab, wouldn't it?
Perfect. I have done, I don't think I have it to hand, I have done a sky similar to this one. Oops, I knew I'd knock it.
Oh, that's lovely.
And it had like a church and a graveyard and very gothic-y looking and an old tree. It worked perfectly for that. There's actually a tutorial on my YouTube channel for that.
Brilliant.
So there are quite a lot of paint-alongs on there to just help you get to grips.
And don't forget, you can find that. It's Bonnita Doodle on YouTube. So go and head on over and have a little nosy at that. Sara, how are you getting on? You've got a very focused face on right now.
I have quite often. You'll find that probably me lip will come out in a minute. Me tongue, and I'll be like this, and then I'll be really embarrassed. But like, you know, when you can't do me scar without
Yes.
like this. Yeah. So I'm getting all right. I mean, it doesn't look as good as Bonnita's, but I've still got some clarity in my moon here a little bit. I probably didn't water this one down quite as much as I needed to get there, but I've nailed the whole thing with the branches. I'm quite liking how I've done the branches. So I don't know. How do you think I'm getting on, Bonnita?
Actually, it's a good thing you said that, because it's a way of potentially answering some questions that may come later on. If you've got a clean, wet brush, you can go over that tree and pick that colour up, so it's not so dark.
So are you sure I can still pick it up even with the stuff in the background? Like, I won't take the colour out of the background too much?
It doesn't actually matter if it affects the background, because we don't, you know, although we have transparency in these, it's not an issue. So you can easily pull some of that colour away, put some water over the top of it, let it sit for 30 seconds and come over with a bit of kitchen roll. There's quite a lot of ways that you can pull colour back, so don't panic if you ever think you've gone too dark. Right. And actually it works in a bit of a bonus, because if let's say for example, I don't know whether it will work on this, it will on the darker ones, but if I get a clean wet brush again, and I drag my brush down the side of that tree, is going to eventually pull a little bit of that colour away, and then it can create a bit of light and shade naturally.
Brilliant.
So there's ways and means around it, so don't panic if you find you're in that situation. A clean wet brush honestly can fix so many, they're not even errors in my opinion, it's just not quite gone where you want it to. But I'm going to go with my third colour now, which is the amethyst. Amethyst is a very strong pigment, so I like to water that down quite a bit.
When you say water it down, what are we talking, sort of 50-50?
It depends really on, because I suppose you could start at 50-50, and then as we come up and get darker, you just apply a bit less water each time.
Get you, I see.
So until you're happy really with the colour, but I'm just going to do, shall I do one or two? Let's do one. I'm going to try and do a thinner tree. I've got the shakes today for some reason. I've just got my finger on my paper to steady my hand. I just want to do a thinner tree, nothing too chunky. Let's do another one here. And then that's it for the back section of trees.
That looks fabulous, doesn't it? Wow.
So really watered down with that one. I'm worried I'm not watered down enough. I'm terrified to go in for it. I'm like ready, and I'm just terrified to get in for it, but I'm going to go for it. Right, hang on, I've got two watered down there.
It's best to start light, and then you can add in afterwards. It's always better when you do paints to start light, because you can always go darker. You can go lighter, but it is harder. So best to just go light first, and then if it's not quite as dark as you want it, you can add on top.
That looks absolutely beautiful. Sarah, that looks fab.
Do you know, I'm pretty pleased with I'll not lie, I'm pretty pleased with how it's going so far. I had a moment, right, I'm sounding a little bit to her. I had a moment where I looked up and I had to do a double take because I wasn't sure. I'm looking at the screen in front of you and I wasn't sure if the one on the screen was mine or Bonnita's. I'm like, right, we've made it. Tremendous, that is a good time. And then I had a quick moment, I was like, yeah, that's totally Bonnita's. I looked down at mine, I was like, yeah, not quite, but almost. Do you know what though? I'm really enjoying it, and it's different to anything I've done before, Becky. So it's quite lovely to try and learn a different new technique. Right, I'll have to have you back up on the screen, Bonnita. You'll have to put me Bonnita back up. I need to see how Bonnita. Right, so I need another little tree down in the left-hand corner. I'm on with my next tree.
Once this one's done, then we can just do literally a quick dry over again, and then we're ready for the 1, 2, 3rd.
Right, so we're just drying over, this time with just the heat gun again.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so Becky, you're up.
I'm with you.
Me and Bonnita, we're out. We're out for a moment.
Get drying, and I will get social. June is insane. I love learning new things here on CCTV. Oh, June, I'm so glad you're having a great time. Rosalind's insane. I love watercolouring with the SM products. Thanks to Bonnita for coming back and sharing techniques with us. I don't know about you, has anyone else just sat there like this, but also really wanting to get out all of your crafting stuff? Yeah, me too, I'm the same. Good. We've got Nancy in saying, hello from Cape Coral in Florida. I just used my watercolour Spectrum Noir Aqua Tint to colour my Easter egg die. They came out great, all different colours, but beautiful. I love them. Nancy, that sounds fab. And of course, perfect for this time of year. Thanks for messaging us that in. Hello to Lynn. Lynn saying, that background looks stunning already. I agree with you there, it really does. It looks incredible. Any of them, you could finish it now, but there's absolutely no need to. Stephanie's in saying, lost in watching the colouring, and I love it, Stephanie. I'm completely on board with you there. I'm glad that we keep having these drying times. I'm like, oh blimey, I might be doing something here. Quick! We've got Yolanda in saying such beautiful techniques. Gina's in saying fascinating how easy it is to manipulate the colour and get such awesome results. And I think that's one of the things about this, isn't it, Bonnita, actually, that you can have fun with it and you can kind of manipulate it to your own way. Do you find that these almost having a little bit of a mind of their own can help with that creativity?
Absolutely. I think because you have to let go a little bit, because you've got to give it that sort of time to be able to go where it needs to go.
Yeah.
I certainly think that it's so helpful in almost giving yourself no choice, but to just, it does what it does. So, I mean, you can control it to a point, But I think a lot of the problem when people start with it is they panic that it doesn't look perfect. And I love the imperfect that you can get with watercolours. And I think that's what makes them so flexible and lovely to work with.
Yeah. And this is one of those things, I suppose, as well, isn't it? Because you can't be too pedantic about it, it has a bit of a mind of its own, it's great. Definitely. Because every single one you do will be completely unique. Every single one.
Absolutely.
Oh, I
they're never going to be the same.
We have got so many people messaging in saying, right, what am I going to need? So give me a couple of minutes and I'm going to get you to sort out your shopping list. We said before with Bonnita, one of the imperative items is the watercolouring card. I am daughter of an artist who loves watercolours, and let me tell you this, if you do try it on any other type of paper or card, good luck. Soggy mess. But this is the perfect stuff. It's a really good thickness, it's got a really good texture to it. 45 sheets. And if you're anything like me, you'll go through them quick for just £9.57 or $14.37. So grab those ones. As well as that, you're going to want your brush and blending collection. Now, you've seen Bonnita and Sara using a few different types of your brushes. You're going to want to grab those ones. You've got the thicker ones there, you've got the more pointed ones. So the thicker ones might be, you use it to do the background, to do the wash. The finer ones you might be using to do the trees and the branches. So all of that's in there, as well as those blenders. Should be £24 nearly, but actually it's only £17.50. Oh yeah. And then you obviously get your extra 20% off if you're platinum or new. As well as that, you are going to get the misters. Now this is free mixing palette you get with this. So this is for your fine spray misters. So it's going to give you, again, added texture and detail, and you're getting your mixing palette here so you can keep it all nice, neat and tidy and stop with any of those colour fadings. Speaking of tidiness, you're going to need this. And I'll tell you what, these have been so popular already in the show. Craft Matte. Now you're getting 2 of them. And it's a buy one, get one free today. Oh yeah, half price. So buy one, get one free. You should be looking at about £20, but it's £9.99 today or $14.95. And this is going to keep your, crafting area really nice, clean and tidy, which of course is really important. And we'll chat to Bonnita about that again in a bit. As well as all of these treats, you're going to want to get your hands on the Aqua Tint liquid ink. Now, you're getting 15 different colours in here, and as we said before, these can go on and on and on and on. You've got loads of colours in here. Let me just tell you a few of them. So in here, for example, you've got that lovely amethyst colour that we've been working with. You've got your aquamarine colour that we've been working with. We've got the garnet in there as well that you've been working with. You are going to have hours and hours and hours and days worth of fun with this. So if you do want to seize the moment, now is your chance. Those are the essentials. Those are what you want to grab your hands on. And remember, you can be creating your own distinctive pieces time and time again. So do feel free to grab your hands on those ones. Bonnita, we are getting so much love for you right now and your wonderful techniques. So I suppose we should carry on with some. So what are we learning? Which technique are we going to be doing next, please, Bonnita?
We're going to be learning how to do some easy treetops and easy bushes. So we're going to do a couple of front trees and then we're going to do the tops and the bottom. So if I show you on the completed one, we're going to be doing this bit.
Oh, lovely. Wow.
And we're going to be doing these little bits here, because the thing with watercolours, they have to be done in layers. You need to build that depth up. So you need to be working in layers when you're doing this type of project.
Perfect.
Right, I'm ready to go, Bonnita. I've got my brushes, I've got my bit ready to go. I am right there with you.
Right, first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to grab my, let's go with amethyst, and I'm going to have it a little bit darker this time, so it's not quite as watered down. And then, in the words of Bob Ross, we're just going to slap a happy little tree down there. Now, I think that could afford to be a bit darker, so I'm going to add a bit more ink, but I'm only going to add it down one side. I'm going to add it down this side because the light source is in the middle. I'm going to clean my brush, and then I'm just going to drag that down. Got a little bit heavy in there, so I'm just going to dab that out. You see how easy it is to pull out that colour?
Yeah. And do you know how you're dabbing that out quite soon after you've added it on? Is there a sort of time period that you can leave it? Do you have to be on it straight away within seconds, or can you leave it a little bit of time for a bit more movement to take that off?
It depends on the effect. When the paper's still quite damp, when you use the tissue, it creates quite a nice soft effect.
I see.
If the paper's already quite dry, it's actually a really good technique to use. If it's dry and then you do it, you're left with quite a crisp edge.
I see.
So depending on the effect really that you want will depend on whether you do it while it's still damp or whether you do it while it's quite dry.
Oh, brilliant.
So I'm just going to then do another tree. Do you know what? I'm going to go with a bigger brush because we're coming further forward. I'm going to do a bigger one. Water that down. And it doesn't matter if you're going over any of the trees that you've done previously. And then again, I'm just going to pull out with the point of my brush. Just like so.
Looks
and you can see I'm not
magical,
really being methodical. I'm not being particularly neat or tidy, but we're just creating that illusion of depth.
Mm. And when you've got this, how do you know when you're finished on it, or do you just keep going until you're happy with it?
You can overwork it so it can get a bit busy. For example, actually, I'd like to show you, if I can find it very quickly, which knowing me I can't. Let's have a quick look. I can't, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this one.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful,
and I
that, isn't
actually
it?
filled the entire space with trees and there wasn't enough sky showing through. So to build that sort of perspective and depth, you need to leave enough space for you to be able to see through. So just bear that in mind and don't add too many.
Ah, that's great, good tip.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, it's like a filbert, so it's like an arch-tipped brush. I do believe you have those in your sets.
We do.
And I'm just going to wet the brush, take out any excess. And I'm going to go with the pink. No, I'm going to go with aquamarine actually, because I love that colour. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to dab down onto my paper, sort of just a general shape of a bush. I know that's not very helpful in technical terms, but it just gives you the illusion of the shape of bushes in the background.
And how much
while
pressure
that's
are you
drying,
putting onto your, when you're doing it? Is it a lot of pressure? Are you pushing the brush a lot, or is it quite gentle?
it's fairly gentle. What you want to do is you eventually want your brush to look a mess.
Oh, okay.
The mess is what gives you the sort of gaps between, so that's where your natural light will come through. So when we come to do the tops of the trees, I'm going to use the amethyst because it's easier to see, and I'm going to use the amethyst neat. Ooh. And all I'm going to do, if I do this left side first, I'm just going to create like a little canopy, and I'm just dabbing straight down. I need to get some of those mats, I think. I'm always doing this to my desk.
Yeah, don't forget to buy one, get one free, so it's a good day to grab them.
I definitely need to. So I'm just creating this little canopy. See the lights in between. This is what you want to make sure you have. So I'm going to see if I can bring this up to my camera. And you can just see little dabs of lights here. And that's perfectly fine to keep. You want that. So I'm going to come and do the other side, but I'm going to pick a bit of the pink up just to have a little bit of a difference in the colour. And then I'm going to come from this side, and we're just going to meet a little bit Don't want to go too far. And I'm going to come down a bit further with this one. And I've got some nice gapping, which will be easier to see once it's dry, but I've got some nice gapping in here, which is allowing that light to peek through.
I see.
And I think, do I think that's enough? Let's do a little bit just on the side here, just coming up like that, peeking through. I think that will do. And then we can come down, now that's dried off a bit, we can come down and repeat that process down the bottom. And I'm going to use the pink, so the pink garnet. You need to leave a space. And then we just come in a little bit lower. And then we can add our darker bushes. Again, leaving some gaps for the light to be able to come through. And then we leave it like that, ready for the last layer down here and 1 or 2 final trees. So all we need to do now is allow that to dry.
Bonnita, we've had questions, a couple of people asking this actually, like lovely Shannon and Pamela. Can you do this effect with glitter inks or your sparkle inks?
Yes, yes, yes. All you need to do is obviously make sure you activate them, make sure you get that mica really shifted around, so shake them really, really well. The only difference I personally find is that the glitter can make the paint a little bit heavier. So you want to work with it a little bit more watered down than you do with the standard aqua tints without the glitter. But sparkle is just, you've got to have a bit of sparkle. It does work well, just water it down a little bit more.
That's fabulous. We've also had another one saying, for the background effects, can you use pot inks?
I think that's these inks.
The ones
you're
using.
Yeah, I think I think that's what they're talking about. Yeah.
So you'd want to decant
these are the ones that I'm using. Yeah. So it's just that I put mine because I make a complete mess, and my child likes to play with these, so I put them just in a different pot for me because it makes it easier. But yeah, you can do them with the pens. You can do them with the sparkle pens. You can do them with the aquatint pots. You can do it with the sparkle pots. Pretty much most of them, to be honest. It's just really more the technique. So it's practicing with the different products, just using the same technique.
Fab. That's amazing, isn't it? So do you have to let it dry now, do you?
Yeah, we're going to give it a little bit of a dry now with the heat gun, and then we'll move on to the next bit.
So whilst you're doing that, I'll say hello to some of you. Don't forget, if you do want to speed it up using your heat gun, etc. If you want to, you don't have to though. Hello to the lovely. Where have you gone? Sharon saying, loving the pace and laid back style of this show. Oh, I'm glad. That's what you want though, isn't it, when you're crafting? You wanna feel like you're sat having a lovely natter with your friends, don't you? So I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you very much. And we've got Tracy in saying Bonnita really does take the mystery out of it all and breaks it down nicely. I agree with you there too. It's lovely seeing it step by step, isn't it? Hello to Candice. Nice to see you. Candice is saying Bonnita is an excellent teacher. Completely. And don't forget, if you do want to be taught more from the lovely Bonnita, head on over to her YouTube. It's Bonnita Doodles. If you type that in on your YouTube. Oh, it's like when my grandma says, when you go onto the Tinterweb, you go onto the World Wide Web. Bonnita, this is your Bonnita Doodles. Here you've got, and this is the one that you'll be logging onto and you'll be able to see, and there's loads of tutorials on there for you to follow. So go ahead, go and subscribe. And don't forget, if you are loving this show, remember that you can save it. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because then you'll get notifications of when other fantastic similar things are coming up for you. Helen loves the concentration on your face, Sarah.
Yes, I have literally been like this. And then I keep forgetting that you're watching me on the top corner doing this. And some people think I look a bit quizzical sometimes. I'm not. I'm just literally hanging on Bonnita's every word. Hey, I'm doing all right though. This is mine so far. Do you want to have a little look overhead? And this is, bear in mind, I've never ever done anything like this before. I've just been following along live with Bonnita. And you know, some bits I've managed, some bits I haven't been quite as good at, but all in all, either way, I'm chuffed to bits with the effect that I've got so far.
I think that's fantastic.
That is stunning. That is stunning, absolutely. I don't know what's happened on your black back of the blue bushes, but there's some texture going on there and it looks gorgeous.
Yes, I tell you what it was. I put the blue and then it kind of all joined together at once. So then I put the purple on top of it and then it's kind of made a new colour underneath.
It's gorgeous. You've done a really
good job.
It's stunning. It's stunning.
Well, it's a good job you said, because I meant to do that, honestly. That was exactly the intention that I was going for with that point there.
See, that's the joy of it.
What do we do next then? I'm ready and round to go. What bit's next?
So we're going to be working with the darker colours now.
Right.
So we're going to be working with the amethyst just on its own, so straight out the pot. You still want to have a little bit of water on your brush though, but don't oversaturate it, because we want to keep as much of the colour as we can. I might need to put a little bit more in my palette. Okay, so I'm going to start up on the trees, and as it's dried, I've got this gorgeous effect happening here where I've got some lights and darks naturally happening. I'm going to bring it up and see if my camera will focus.
Yeah.
But there's just some really nice, so I don't want to cover too much of that, so I just want to be mindful of how much I put in now, but we're going to do the same process, but we're just going to keep it a little bit restrained. I'm going to be good and not put loads down. And I'm going to come over a tiny bit into that moon. And now see how it looks like there's lots of leaves on the end of that tree.
Yeah.
And then let's do a little bit up here. You've just got to go with your gut feeling really as you're doing this.
Do you know, it's funny, I'm getting like really frightened, Bonnita, like just going straight out the pot. I'll be really honest, that was scaring me when you started saying about that. But I'm going for it, I'm going for it. And
you need that contrast for the silhouette. So, you know, you have to have it fairly dark for that silhouette to work. If it's too light, it doesn't quite give you the illusion that you need. So there's a lot of depth happening in both mine and yours, and that's exactly what you're looking for. While that's drying, I can then move down to the final space at the bottom and do exactly the same. So let's fill out the space.
It's amazing how strong it is when it comes out of the pot, but it doesn't kind of detract your eye from anything else. It does feel like you're walking through a nighttime forest and you're looking into the distance. It's really 3D.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Oh, I can't wait to try this.
You need some aqua tints, Becky. You need some aqua tints.
I know, right?
You may find that once this is dry that you'll want to put another coat on top, but I quite like the fact that it feels like there's a little bit of light just peeking out somewhere down here, like a path or a house or something. So I'm going to leave that as is. So while that's drying, I'm going to grab a thin brush. Let me know when you're ready, Sara, and we're going to add some little wowness to the trees.
We're going to add a what to the trees?
A bit of wow.
A bit of wow to the trees, right. So I'm just going to dry them. Right, yes, give us a couple of minutes, me and Bonnita, and we'll dry this off, and then we'll come and wow the trees, Bonnita. You and I, darling, can wow the trees.
Absolutely.
It sounds like a girl band. And next up, it's Wow the Trees. We are going to bring to you your aqua tints now, and I want to show you the colours that you're getting in this mega bundle, because is anyone else watching that like me and going, oh, hey, up, if I did that way, colourway, I'd get a completely different look. It'd be summertime, or it'd be, you know, sunrise as opposed to sunset. If you are, I've got some tint colour here for you. So have a little nosy at these. You're going to be getting 15 in total, and you're getting 3 colour packs in each. So let me tell you, this is your perfect pastels. So in this selection, you are getting the Moonstone, the Cosmos, which we're using at the moment, and the Rose Quartz in here as well. Rose Quartz, beautiful, delicate peachy shade to that one. Going a little bit more of a colour pop now. That is your aquamarine colour, which is this month's birthstone. Beautiful blue stone, beautiful blue colour, great for you underwater. This is what we're using in this one. You've also got your amethyst as well. This one again is what we're using in this demonstration. And you're getting your pink garnet, which again we're using. So this is your glitz and glamour, and we're using all of those in this one, including the one from the Perfect Pastels. We're bringing to you the element of your solar red here, your emerald green and your blue topaz in that summertime. How summery does this make you feel when you're looking at it? It really does, doesn't it? It makes me want to throw on some flip-flops. So really beautiful outdoors colours that you're getting here. Also bringing to you in this pack your vintage chic. Now this is your vintage chic selection. Definitely got that more oldie-timey, oldie-worldy feel. Do you know what I would love working with this? And I know it was sort of on an earlier show, but you know on the Wake Up, we did the lace outlines, didn't we? Do you remember those cutters? This would look incredible for anything lacy like, I think. Really pretty. So if you did manage to get them, then well done to you. They'll be great. I've also got your afternoon tea, where we're bringing to you your teacup, your macaroon and your biscuit colours as well. So all of those colours, remembering, I'll flip through them really quickly for you if I put them in the right direction. Come on, Bex, there we go. But yeah, let me just remind you, you're getting all of these colours in one place for you. They should be nearly £65 or nearly $100. Today though, because you're watching us live, we're giving you a little extra treat. It's £38 or $59 only. But of course, if you're brand new or you're platinum, you get an extra 20% off that. And do not forget, it's double points on this today. So fill your basket, you're getting a discount and you're getting an added extra treat. And as you can see, you know, the fact that you're getting all those colours, you're going to be crafting along. So do feel free to seize the moment on those ones. Bonnita, are we all dried up and ready over there?
We are ready, yeah. And we're just going to put in the last couple of trees, and then we're going to put the wow factor onto them. Yes. So you are going to want a slightly smaller brush for the detail, but for the last couple of trees, I'm going to go with my bigger brush just to make them, you know, nice and broad. So I'm going to work solid colour again, straight with the amethyst. And I'm going to put mine down here. And I think we're going to go from the top all the way down. And while I've got my nice flat edge, I'm going to pull some branches out. Just the odd few. I don't want too many here, but enough to just give you that illusion of depth again.
I'm really frightened, Bonnita, to go neat from the amethyst. You're definitely sure I'm going in the amethyst and down. Just do it.
Yeah.
I've got faith in you. You've got
honestly, I'm nervous today. I feel like, oh, I'm so pleased with what I've done. I'm frightened because it's so deep, but I'm going to do it. If Bonnita says I should do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you've got to do what I say today.
Right. Hey, my husband will be on the phone later wanting to know how you got us to do that, so... Right, so two, one on each side, yeah?
I'm going to add a third one just to balance it a bit. So I'm just going to add maybe one off the very edge here, just like it's peeking in from the edge.
Bonnita, do you generally work in odd numbers when you're crafting, or do you find it doesn't really matter with these kind of elements because they are so freeform?
It doesn't necessarily matter, but I actually have a degree in graphic design, so I work very much in the essence of odd numbers. In general, they're more pleasing, they're more aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Yes.
So if I find that, because say for example, like down here, the bush and this part of the tree is quite dark. Mm-hmm. So really, I need a little bit extra on this side to counterbalance the dark on this side, whereas this is a little bit lighter.
So it's more about the visual balance maybe than necessarily it must be odd numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll know that the more you do it, you'll get more familiar with what you're doing and just whatever is visually appealing to you, really.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong, and that's the joy with these, is it's entirely up to you. There's no written rules for how things should be done. And that's why I love being creative with these, because, you know, you haven't got to answer to anybody and you can just have fun and do what you want. So that's where we are now. We've added those little branches on the very front here. So if Sara's ready, we can add the little wow factors now.
What do you mean? Wow, that wasn't the wow. Bonnita, you've got to look at how I'm getting on. You've got to come and have a look at how I'm getting on, because yes, I'm absolutely. Look, you were so right about going for it with the big dark ones. I put my third one down here.
That is stunning. That tree on my left, I think that's on your left. Absolutely good. The canopy you've got on there is perfect.
I love it. But you were right. I was frightened to go and add a little bit more on, whereas you're absolutely right. It totally just took it a little bit further again. Honestly, Bonnita, I can't even tell you how chuffed I am with myself. Tell everybody, I had to have a little chat with Bonnita before the show, and I said, I'll just warn you, Bonnita, right? So sometimes when I do this colouring, because I don't do a lot of it, I'm not an expert. People think because I go on the TV all over the world and teach people that I'm the expert. Bonnita is the expert. Like, I learn things from people like Bonnita. And I said to her, just to warn you, you'll corroborate what I said here. I was like, I'll lose it and I'll go really quiet, but then if I do something I'm pleased with, you'll absolutely know I'm pleased with myself. Go on, I'm loving it. Right, come on. If that is not the wow on the trees, what's the wow on the trees?
Okay, so we're going to water down the purple a tiny bit. We don't want to water it down too much. So this was the amethyst. Mm-hmm. And we want our small brush here. And then all we're going to do is on these lighter trees in the back, find any one of them that you used the amethyst on, and just down one edge. So it's going to have to be on the edge where the light isn't reflecting. So on mine, it's this side. I'm just going to go up the edge, a little bit too much on there. You need such a tiny amount. So we're going to pull up, make sure not to go over any of your front branches. And then I'm just going to push out into the tree, and it adds like a bark texture to it.
Right, so I don't wash the brush off in between. I literally go out and then push it out. I think I might have gone a little bit too dark with mine.
Okay, pick it up now with your kitchen roll. You'll be absolutely fine.
Right, okay, boss, I'm on it. I'm picking it up with the kitchen roll. And then I can just wet it a little bit more. You always said you can do anything with a wet brush, didn't you?
Yep.
Bonnita, we've had a question from Stephanie saying, how long have you been doing this? Just curious.
With the spectrum stuff, probably about 4 years.
Blimey.
So in respect, it's not actually that long.
No, it's not.
And of course, I've only been using the aquatints since the aquatints have been out. So not that long really in retrospect. So once you get going, it's easier to pick up than you think it is. And I think you've just got to, as I say, you really have just got to let go and play and become familiar with the tools, and just don't give up. If you make a mess, they make amazing backing papers. So you're never going to have any waste.
No.
Ever.
I'm amazed that you're saying only 4 years. If you'd have said, oh, I've been doing this type of thing for 15 years, I'd have gone, yeah. But actually what you've gone to prove there is just with the right skill and a bit of practice and with the right elements, you can actually get such a professional finish. I mean...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's magical. Sara's getting closer and closer to her piece of paper, and she's getting more of a smile on her face as she goes as well, which is fab.
She really is. So now I was really unsure about what you were saying about the tree. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure about that. But now I'm right there and I'm adding more onto my tree, Bonnita. I'm in my own little world, folks. I'm in my own little world. Love this.
That's what this is why art is so art and crafting is just therapy. You get to just sit and enjoy, like you say, your own little world, and just enjoy what you're doing and have fun with it. And it's just, you can be so creative. I'm going to bring my picture up because I know it's difficult to see that far down. But can you see that bark effect?
Oh, doesn't half make it look more 3D even?
We can.
Absolutely, because you then get your dark and your light. So we're hitting the dark where, you know, the moon is going to shine on this side. So that's what we're doing. So when we come to do the same, we're going to swap to the blue for the blue trees, and we're going to swap to the pink. So aqua and the pink garnet for these trees. So that's essentially all we need to do there. And then we're going to work in the opposite way when we come to do this tree, just to confuse you.
Right. Look, I've done mine. I've done my on the, yeah, there you go. I'll do a Bonnita. I'll let you in. Do you know what I was doing, Bonnita? I'll let you show them me from the front. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm going, look at mine. Till George got the hint that I wanted to come and show you mine. I haven't put me, I've got such dirty fingers and I'm touching my face. I did that, what you were saying here. I was really unsure about that with the wow on the trees, but it looks brilliant, doesn't it? I've really enjoyed that.
It really makes a difference.
So am I doing that on the other trees as well, Bonnita? Like the blue one in the background, or just them ones?
That's it. Just use the corresponding colours. So on the blue tree, we're going to use the blue ink, so the aqua. If you want to make it a little bit darker, you can mix a little bit. So if I mix a bit of the amethyst in with the aquamarine, we're going to make like a very bluey purple. And then I can just, like down here, I can come in and do it a little bit darker. And then it's just adding that depth of shadow, and that's what you want. That's what's going to pull things forward and push things back. So we then want the pink garnet. If I run out of that, I need to just pop a bit more in my palette. And I am going to pop a tiny bit of the amethyst in with a little bit of that pink garnet, just to darken it up slightly. And again, I'm just going to go on the edge where the moon wouldn't be shining, and we're going to go, this one's behind that bush, so I'm going to avoid that, and we're going to start here. So I'm just trailing up one side, and then I'm just pulling out from here. And just, sometimes the quicker you do things, the more natural they look.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do the last, well, there's two pink trees this side, so I'll just do this one. Push out there.
We have had so many messages in for you, Bonnita. Tracy's saying that last bit with the added wow to the trees has really made it and added to the tunnel effect. And it really does, doesn't it?
It really does.
It feels like you're in a photograph. It's incredible. We've also had Peg is in. Hey, Peg, you're right. Peg saying, with Becky included, it's a fun girl group hanging out today.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we could be the, what did we call ourselves before? The wow trees or whatever.
Well, you said, what did we call ourselves? What you really mean is, what did you call us?
Yeah.
What she really means. She gave us this really cool name and we just all went along with it, you know.
Yeah, well,
as you do.
Do you know what? The Spice Girls were taken. That name's already been used, so I just went for wow the trees. Robin's in saying, I subscribed. There are some amazing things on her channel referring to Bonnita's YouTube channel. Bonnita, you have had added extra subscribers left, right and centre, you know, since we've been in this show. You've had an extra, how many was it about? It looks like it's been about 40 to 100 people, but if you do want to go and find it, go to...
Thank you. Oh, you're gonna make me choke on TV, and that's not funny.
Oh, well, this is how inspirational you are, Bonnita. If you do want to go on and have a little nosy, go to Bonnita Doodles, there you go. And it's not 4.63 subscribers anymore. Oh no, that's just a picture we took before. It is, and we've got a fair few more on there. So go on there and you can watch some of these wonderful things. Remember to subscribe as well so that you can be highly entertained. So do have a little look on that one if you so wish. And also don't forget, you can message in to the lovely Bonnita. If you've got any questions for her, just get us on our socials. And we have had loads of people messaging in. I love this one. It says, this is an art masterclass Bonnita is showcasing today. And I totally agree with that. This is all that you need to know. Do you know what? This is like going to maybe like... a actual art class that you might spend X amount of money on, isn't it? It's just fabulous. It's brilliant. Sarah, how's yours getting on?
It's coming along lovely. I've got my trees wowed up. I've got the finished bits added in there. I'm not sure whether I was supposed to leave a bit of a gap here or not. I know that was me moon in the middle, so I didn't know if that was the bit that we needed in the middle there. But do you know what I like the idea of? If you show everybody your finished one, Bonnita, you had some like deer in here. I'll be really honest, I can't freehand draw, so I'm not going to draw any deer in, but we've got some really nice deer. Yeah, I like the idea that I could actually die cut a deer and put one of my deers. I like the idea of die cutting a deer to go on your. Yeah, look at that. See, I look at this light on here. I'm just going to put a little deer on the middle. That'll kind of be ready to go. Oh, I'm thrilled to bits with that. Here's the thing, Bonnita, right? Good news is we're only like halfway through the show. Bonnita said this would happen. So you've actually got some other... So in case you didn't realise, guys, Bonnita actually planned a couple of classes for us. So this was the main masterpiece to learn. However, she's got loads of tips and tricks to share with us. So I've printed out the Colour Me Happy download. And now this, for the way, folks, if you've never done this before, every week we have a free download that goes with this show. So Bonnita has very kindly drawn us some brand new techniques. I think I left mine over there. Becky, did I leave mine over there on the watercolour card? I'll come and find them anyway, and then I'll get mine. I'll get tidied up a little bit, but I'm really keen for Bonnita to show everyone some more of her artwork, and then also tell me what I need, Bonnita. I'll get the next stuff ready so that we can do the next little bit.
Okay. Yep, we can do that. So do you want to see the samples now?
Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah? Okay, so most of these were done with the aqua tints, but I want to show you what can be done with the pens as well. So if I move that out the way, let's move it up a little bit so you can have a better view. So these are all done with, well, this one's the aqua tints. Just the blues are just beautiful,
That's
absolutely beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
These were done with the pens, the markers, the watercolour markers.
The watercolour markers. Wow. The double-sided.
So,
oh, that's amazing.
If Sara's up for it, I thought I could show you maybe what to do with the pens on maybe the Flamingo or the Llama. I'll let Sara choose on that, I think. But
So, hey, let's have a look. I've got the Llama. I've got the Flamingo. Where should we start? Can we do them both?
yeah, absolutely.
So right, which one's easier for me to start with first? The Flamingo or the Llama?
Let's go with the Llama, because I think you've done exceptionally well so far. So I don't think we need necessarily easy. I think we could bring in another technique for you.
Oh, right, okay, I've got my Llama and I'll get my stuff ready. What do I need to get out and get ready?
All you need are some clean brushes, the colours that you want. So I wouldn't say any more than 4 colours. Maybe a quick tip really is for something like this, think of your primaries. So just maybe stick with your primaries to begin with. So you can either go pastels or go vivid. For me, I'm going to do pastels. And then we're going to add a bit of glitter as well, I think.
Oh.
Add a bit of glam.
Right, well, I tell you what, we'll have a look through at what colours we've got, pick which ones we fancy. I'll get some out. So would you say is 3 colours plenty? Because we could always get like a little pack of the 3 out that all go together.
Yeah, the 3 is absolutely plenty.
Brilliant. Right, okay, go on then, Becky. You show us the ones we like and I'll choose one set.
So if you do fancy those primary colours, we have got a few sets in here. So with this one, which is the afternoon tea, you've got your yellow colour, your sort of red colour and your blue colour. So that's perfect for your primary colours if you want to grab that. We've also got for you your vintage chic sage. Ooh, fig and peony there. So these ones maybe something a little bit more subtle if that's what you're going for. We're also bringing to you your summertime. So this again has got a real primary colour. I know they're not the primary colours, but it's got a really primary colour feel about it, because there's something fresh, isn't there, about a primary colour? Do you know what I mean? So in here we're going to be bringing to you your solar red, you've got your emerald as well, and you've got your blue topaz. I love this collection because for me, we're looking at the sky and the sea, we're looking at the grassy meadows, and we're looking at maybe flowers and the sun here, aren't we? So that's a great set for you. As well as that, we're bringing to you your perfect pastels. So you're getting the moonstone, the cosmos. Well, don't forget we used the cosmos in the design before, and we got the rose quartz as well as the glitz and glamour, which is the aquamarine, the amethyst, and the pink garnet as well. And I've just got to, because quite frankly, I have been just so inspired with Bonnita's pieces. Just have a look at a few of these that I'm lucky enough to have here in the studio with me. The colours on that Bonnita, it's incredible. That
is one of my favourites.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's astonishing, absolutely stunning. Let me just let you know too that the downloads that we were mentioning are now up and available on our socials. So head on over to socials, and we've just popped the link on there as well, so you can go and download those. So this is how you get involved. So if you head on over, you can get the downloads that we were talking about to really help inspire you. We have just got so much inspiration. Look at that. I mean, I just want that to be a mood board. Do you know what I mean? It's stunning. I love, Bonnita, how tonal this one is.
Yeah, I think actually when you limit yourself to a certain amount of colours, you'll be amazed, like you say, the mood and I don't know how to explain it. I get so giddy over the actual products. I really do. And you know, I've been a lover of Spectrum, but the aqua products have just been everything to me. And, you know, they've actually been a bit of a kick for my career as well. So I just have a real soft spot. So when I'm able to do things like that with these products, and I didn't really know what I was doing beforehand, just shows that anybody can have a go.
Which is why I was so amazed that before you were saying, oh, I've been doing it 4 years. It's just astonishing, it really is. We have got, oh, you've got to see this one as well. And this is another thing I'm loving about this product. We've seen some quite subtle. Are you ready for a bit of a pop now? Pop. Look at that! It's amazing.
That was the Halloween one we mentioned earlier.
Yes, it is. Spooktacular. So if you do want to grab your hands on the Aqua Tint liquid inks, then you have the opportunity to do so now, and you can get all of that for your discount deal. Don't forget, if you're platinum or it's your birthday, you do get that 20% off on top of it, and it's double the points today. So seize the moment. Sara, have you got your colours picked out?
Okay, yes, I couldn't quite go with 3. I went with the set that's got the moonstone, the rose quartz, and the cosmos in. So I went with that set. However, I also got out the biscuit because I thought we might, the llama, I'm sure I saw yours, Bonnita, with like a little bit of yellow in. So I thought I'd get the biscuit as well out of that set. So, oh look, Becky's got them all ready to go to show. So you show everybody the colours that I've picked, Becky, and we'll see how it looks.
So this is from the Perfect Pastels, which is the moonstone, the cosmos, and the quartz. And then we've gone for the teacup as well. So that's the section that Sara's gone for, and that one's on the afternoon tea. So if you're just going to copy this completely, you're going to want the Perfect Pastels and the afternoon tea. Obviously, you make a massive saving if you get them all. So this is the colour you're going for.
I feel like you've built me up a little bit farther, you know, as in like you're assuming I'm going to do a good enough job that people will want to copy mine. I actually think we should maybe ask Bonnita what colour she went for. Let's ask the professional what colour combination is going to look good as opposed to what I fancied having a bit play with. So which ones have you gone for, Bonnita?
Okay, so you can you can do these with the tri-blend and the standard aqua pens. This is what this was actually done with originally. And it's just so cute. So you can see what I mean about it being quite pastel-y.
Yeah.
And we've got a bit of shimmer going on there.
Oh, you've got a bit of sparkle pen on that one, haven't you? So you've done that one with the sparklings, have you?
Yes. They were done with the sparklings, but you can do, if you don't have the sparklings, but maybe you have the sparkle pen, you can layer them. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. And you can layer them either with the pens or with the inks. So whatever you have, whatever you're getting today, it will work.
I have the pen. I have said pen right in front of me, Bonnita. I am ready and raring to go. Everybody needs a clear sparkle pen in their life. So do you want me to use the little jars, or would you rather I got the aqua pens out? Because I've got all of my aqua pens as well.
It might be good to maybe just show some techniques with the pens. What do you think?
Absolutely. You're talking my language with pens. No offence, I find these things really scary. You have absolutely demystified them for me, but pens, right up my street. Don't find pens scary at all. So, and do you know what? Loads of our customers are the same. Loads of our customers really, they think pens aren't scary. We know that. As soon as you start giving them liquid medium, oh, that's painting. I don't know how to paint. I don't know how to paint. I've no idea how to paint, yet I've done an absolute masterpiece here. And if I don't win Demo of the Week with this, Bonnita, there's going to be trouble. Because I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with that. I
agree with that, actually. I think you've done a really... Have you looked at the back of your paper as well? How gorgeous the back of the paper is.
Yeah, yeah, it's all over. So I'm really thrilled with that. Right, so I've got my clear sparkle pen. And so you say, right, I've got a couple of my colours. So you've got... Do you know what? I've got a nice collection of just nice light colours. So I've got, yeah, like sea green and kingfisher and topaz, a little bit of desert in there. I use aqua pens a lot. These are our pens of choice in our house, Bonnita. Don't know if you know, I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. My 4-year-old likes to draw on things he's not supposed to draw on, so we only let him have water-based products at home.
It's a really good solution, actually. I'm the same with mine. I make a mess, I can tidy it up. It's fine. Leave the alcohol markers alone. But yeah, the aqua markers go ahead. Yeah, they're so easy to use. And actually, if you aren't familiar or you are a bit nervous, get yourself a small pack of the aqua pens and start with that first, and then build yourself up. Because this is exactly how I started. I started with the pens before anything else. And I mean, this, for example, is done with the pens.
Oh, wow.
So you really can go to town with the pens. It's amazing what you can do. It really is.
Right, I've got some pens. I'm all yours. Show me what we're doing with the llama.
Okay, my hands are filthy, which means I've had fun. So if I get any purple bits on there, it's because my hands are grubby.
Yeah, yours aren't as filthy as mine. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give the pen a good shake. Can you see okay?
Yes, we can see great.
Yeah, you can see the llama.
Okay. And I'm just going to literally cover, depending on how much sparkle you want, I'm afraid I'm a bit of a sparkle girl. I will give it a little naughty squeeze, just because I like to have tons of sparkle.
Yep, I've just given mine the naughty squeeze already.
Just allow it to come down the brush as you would normally, but yeah, I do like a bit of excessive sparkle, to be honest.
That's why we do a 3-pack of these pens, Bonnita, because everybody, we're all the same, we all give it a little bit of a squeeze.
I love it, absolutely love it. So I've gone for pretty much your primary colours. I've gone for azure blue, sunshine and magenta, because you're going to get your purples from these two. You're going to get your greens from these two. What you need to avoid if you are looking at this is putting these two together, because you'll end up with them getting quite muddy. It's the same as if you mix green with purple. If you're not sure, in with the download is some diamonds and some ovals, and you can practice blending and getting colour palettes on those, and it will show you what will work and what won't work. So there's plenty there to have a bit of a play around.
Fabulous.
So this is going to be so simple to do, honestly. You're going to be literally wowed. So I'm just going to grab my pen. I'm just going to grab any of the colours, and mine's going to be a bit brighter than that one was. I'm just going to go into little areas and just scribble.
Bonnita, Stephanie's just
asking, what
paper are you using at the moment? Stephanie's asking, Bonnita.
What colour was that, sorry?
Sorry, what type of paper are you using?
The same watercolour paper.
It is available on show today, Stephanie. If you want to grab it, then you can.
Brilliant. Really good paper. So I'm leaving quite a lot of white space, if you notice. And that's because I want to make the colours a bit paler. I'm just going to pop that in. So what you want to do is literally just get your brush. So I'm going to grab a fairly medium-sized brush. I think it's about number 10. Clean water. Take off any excess. And again, we're not going to brush over the whole thing because that's where we go a bit muddy. All I'm going to do is dab over certain areas and influence where that colour is going to go. I'm just going to push it around. I can push the pink into the blue to create a nice purple. So we've got some really nice pastel colour going on from those bright colours. What you don't want to do and panic, because this is actually something I see come up quite often in some of the groups where they're discussing the pens, is you have to allow it time to feed through the paper. It needs time to travel. So don't panic if you're seeing a pencil line or a pen line, apologies, because eventually they do disappear.
And how often are you going to be cleaning your brush, or do you keep it quite fluid?
All the time I'm going over the same colours, I'll keep the brush pretty much as is. But if I suddenly then say come to this yellow area, and I'll go, right, okay, I don't want to muddy that, so I'm going to clean the brush and I'm just going to push from the middle of the yellow out into the other colours.
I see.
That way I'm not making the yellow muddy. I'm keeping that yellow nice and clean and bright.
Does it matter, Bonnita, with this technique if you do lighter colours first or dark colours first, or does it not matter too much when it comes to the blending?
It honestly doesn't matter. It's probably best easier to just get your darker colours done first because you're not having to clean your brush as often. So that's probably the only advantage to doing the darker colours first. So we're just going to keep pushing. I'm going to grab that yellow out like so.
We're going to have a little look at Sara's now.
And a little bit of water pooling on mine, so I'm just going to grab a bit of kitchen roll and just grab a bit of that water there.
So you don't need to worry about putting too much water on, Bonnita?
No, I mean, if it starts to pool too much, then take a bit off. What you don't want to do, and it can be a mistake that people make sometimes, is they push quite hard on the paper. And what that will do is eventually make the paper roll. You'll end up breaking the paper up. So you just very gently just manipulate it. I'm barely touching the paper, so I'm just manipulating the colour around. And eventually, it will just blend all those edges of your pen out.
Yeah, see, I didn't think it would. And again, there I go, Downton Annie, thinking, you know, I was looking and thinking, because when I've tried this, I haven't tried doing this technique before, but when I've gone direct to paper with like something wet like this, it's just, so, I feel like it's soaked in and I haven't been able to move it around. But I guess I just didn't have enough patience to keep going as long as what you did with it. And then you're right, I'm having a muddy mess at places, so I'm trying to be really careful not to blend them two colours that you said not to blend together.
If you find it does get a bit muddy and you want to just stop any of the blending happening too much, you can easily just put a bit of kitchen roll over the top, dab down. Like, for example, I want this to be really pastel. So I'm going to go over the top. I'm going to lift up some of that colour because I'd like it to be really subtle. And then we're going to pull that away, and then we've got this beautiful, subtle, fluffy llama happening. Wow. And it's really sparkly.
Oh, I just want to give him a cuddle. He looks like he'd be dead nice and squidgy. Fab. Right, Sara's getting her kitchen roll out. There we go.
Ready? Because
Yeah.
mine was quite dark, so I went with darker shades. And then
Wow.
it's more pastely.
That's it.
Yes. And you're right, I've lost some of that. I'm gonna go again and blend it all together a little bit more again, and then try and get it a little bit lighter again.
Absolutely. All the time your paper's slightly damp, it's going to move that colour around. It's only when it's really dry. But I mean, you can reactivate these, but it's only when it's really, really dry, that's when you're going to struggle to blend it out a bit more. But the key to these pens is patience. And again, just a little bit of faith in yourself, because I mean, you can't see any pen lines there at all. It's just this nice, soft and subtle blend. So you haven't got any pen lines there to worry about. The paper's had time to allow it to shift around, and that's really what you need to give it time to do. And you really don't need a huge amount of the colour as well. I think that's the other thing. They're so pigmented that you need such little amount of colour. It depends on your project. Of course, if it's a bigger project where you want something really kapow in your face, you know, it really depends. So this, for example, is another sample which I did with the actual sparkle pens.
Yes.
But again, you need to allow it time to just blend and make a mess and just have fun with it, really. But yeah, just it's amazing what you can do with these pens.
I love that the more time you give it, the more it almost develops. I suppose it's a bit like, oh, I don't know, kind of kneading dough and then letting it rise, isn't it? It kind of moves and changes.
Absolutely.
It's fab.
Yeah, you definitely need it. It's a patience game sometimes. It's the one thing I have patience for is crafting and art. But yeah, just have faith in yourself and you'll be amazed.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. And I love me little llama. I love me llama. Right, come on then. Next, can we do the flamingo next then? So what do I need to get ready to do? Are we doing the flamingo with the inks or with the pens?
Shall we do a little bit of splashy like we did? I did it with Leanne with her show, and there might be a few people on stage that didn't see it. So you might want to prepare.
Well, I didn't see it, so definitely yes.
Brill. Okay, so grab a pipette and any flamingo colour. I personally prefer the pink garnet or the cosmos.
Right, I've got cosmos, I've got pink garnet. I'll find my little pipettes. Yeah, and right, I'll get that one out. I'll clear down and I'll let. Got all over my hands. I'll let Becky go through the aqua marker colours, because we've had quite a few questions about the aqua marker colours and what's in the kit, and we'll get ready and we'll come back and do the flamingo now. I love this. This is like teacher turned student, complete role reversal for me. I'm in my element. Loving it.
I feel like I'm the kid who's been sent out of class and I'm just looking through the window like, you can't take part in this today. It's too much fun. But I'm going to be doing it at home. You want to bet your bottom dollar. I love, you can tell how much fun Sarah's having with this, because her hands look like, you know, do you remember Violet Beauregard off of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Oh, it's uncanny. So, loads of you have been asking questions about these pens, so I'm going to bring some to you if that's all right. We've got the big sets that I'm going to be bringing to you first, and you're going to be getting 2 sets here. So there's 12 in each of these ones, and these are the selections of the colours that you're going to be getting. So you've got your florals here. These are nice bright poppy, and then you've got your neutrals or your nature ones. So these are more sort of flora and fauna kind of colours that you get in here. Great for the great outdoors. Great for example, the llama. These ones could be quite good because you've got those primary colours in there as well. So all of that today, you should be looking at about £46, but actually it's only 30 for 48. Don't forget it's your double points as well. And if you're in the US, it's $44.92. So a big saving on that, and you are getting a massive amount. And you know, we saw that technique from the wonderful Bonnita, which loads of people have said they're looking back. If you do want a bit more of that variety across the pens, we've got the 4 sets of the 6. Now don't forget, each of these are double-sided. So if you are new, that's really important to pay attention to. You've got your thicker side, you've got your finer side on each of these. So although you're getting, for example, in this pack 6 different colours, it's almost like you're getting double the amount of pens. And you're getting all of those ones, 24 of the different colours in total, not forgetting that it is your double point. For this technique, you will need your watercolour card. It is so important. It really truly will not give you the finish that you're hoping for if you don't treat yourself. So this is a massive pack, 45 of them, which you're going to be having loads of fun with, and you're looking today at £9.57. So many people loving these downloads. I've got Christine in saying, I love the tigers. Shannon's in saying, oh, I love the hummingbird. We've got Joy in saying that the llama, having the llama framed in a young person, like a kid's room or a baby's room, would be just adorable. I agree with you there. Carol's saying the llama is darling. Don't forget, if you do want to treat yourself to these outlines, the download link has been popped on our socials, so do head on over. And don't forget, you've also got to, when you get social, you can also be added into the prize draw as well. So we've got loads on there. And if you do want to join in with this next one, of course, it's the Flamingo that we're getting on to. Right, Bonnita, let's carry on crafting. What are we up to for this bit, please?
We're going to get even more messier now. We're going to get more messier and we're going to have a bit more fun. And we just need a little pipette to give us a hand. One. And I've picked the pink garnet, and mine's going to be slightly different to the download because I've very quickly lined mine with the art liner pens, which, by the way, if you're after any pens to work with these, they are absolutely fantastic. In fact, they're the best I've ever used. And I've used a lot of different pens. And I've just used the brush pen to do this, so it's not going to move anywhere.
Great.
So all I'm going to do is grab my pipette and pick up some of that pink garnet. And I'm just going to pick an area. I don't quite know where I'm going to go yet. Let's just go with the flow and see what happens. And all I'm going to do is just gently push. I know with the we used a slightly different technique, but I'm just very gently going to drop it from a little bit of a height, and it's going to splash.
Oh. Now, Bonnita, I do have full faith in you, but I'll be honest, you look like you've made a right mess of that.
I do, don't I? You've got to make a mess. It's the
You,
fun
Bonnita.
part.
Yes, I do. But I did just think, oh no, that doesn't look great.
Right, I'm a bit behind. I've just been and found my art liner pens, so I'm going just like you. So I'm absolutely carrying on with. I'm going over with the art liner pens just like yours. So you keep splatting. I'll get caught up. Don't worry.
Any excess, I'm just going to pick up. I've already squeezed the tip of the pipette. I'm just going to pick up any excess straight off my page, and then I'm going to put that wherever I want. So I'm going to leave it really, really simple, because what it does is it just gives you a bit of drama. I'm trying to think what the colour is. Black, isn't it, on the end of there? So let's use the amethyst. I'm just going to pop a bit of amethyst in there. Now what I'm going to do now is grab some kitchen roll, go over the top. I'm not going to rub, I'm just going to push down. And we're going to pick the excess up, and then we're left with a really pretty effect. So I'm just going to clean my pipette out quickly as we see.
Whilst you're doing that, can I just ask from Sam? Sam is saying, I can't print onto watercolour paper because of the thickness. Any suggestions?
Buy a new printer.
Yes. All you need to do is print it off normally, go to a window, put your sheet of paper in front, so your watercolour in front of the image that you need to copy, go to a window and trace the image onto your watercolour paper. Then that way you don't have to print directly on it.
Great tip, I love that. Thank you very much.
So I'm just going into the beak here, where it's purple, just to give it a bit of colour on there, just because we know that the tip of, I'm pretty sure it's black on the end of their beak, isn't it? I hope so.
Yes, it is black,
so I'm just going to come in, I've just put a little bit of water, I'm just going to add that, and then we're going to do the same again. Just going to push down, we're not going to rub, just push down. I've got a little bit of towel on there, but that's not a problem. And then, last thing I'm going to do is a clean bit of water. So clean water on a brush. We're going to do that favourite technique I showed you earlier. we're going to go over the top. And I'm just going to let that sit there. And while it's sitting there, all it's going to do is put it on my hand. It's going to pull that colour out.
Red-handed.
If you want to speed the process up of the colour pulling out, you can just grab a slightly damp, mine's obviously very dirty now, so I'm making a right mess. And then you can just lift the colour up a bit more, and it just...
We've actually had a question about that, Bonnita, from Stephanie, who's asked, do you always blot with a paper towel or only when you are looking for that effect for a more muted colour?
When I'm looking for a muted colour and when there's a bit too much water on there, or I need to stop something from reacting quickly, that's when I'll use the kitchen towel. Otherwise, you don't have to use them at all. I've done it where I've just left it and it's just dried on its own without any paper towel needed.
Brilliant, thank you.
I went with the lighter colours, Bonnita, so I haven't got... Do you think I need to add a darker colour into mine? Can you say I've gone with like the...
Oh, no, that's perfect.
Oh,
That looks
That's
lovely.
done.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Bonnita said it was perfect. I'm absolutely going to take that. Right, okay. Okay, so we're stopping on that. What do I do next?
Okay, I do want to show you one more thing, actually. And if you want a very quick go...
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, that's...
So am I done with my flamingo, or do I need to do anything else? Do I need to do a little bit more of that flicking on it?
You're done on your flamingo.
I think I'm going to do a couple of them little flicky bits that you were doing. I just hadn't done them yet. I just want to know if I should add some more. So I'm going to flick.
Yeah, you can do.
Right. There you go.
So that's just water you use in there, is it, Sara?
Just water, and obviously that normally works better. The darker the colour you get, I've always found, Bonnita, the darker the colour, the better it would look. But it still gives you that little bit of a splattery effect, which I noticed Bonnita really rated on the first bit that she did. And am I right in thinking, Bonnita, I normally leave mine a little bit longer, and the longer you leave it, the more it will lift the colour out. So you kind of get that splat effect.
Yeah, the further it spreads as well. So the water will continue to spread. But yeah, the longer you leave it, the more colour comes out. If you do it on dry, I don't know if it's going to show very well on the camera. Can you see how precise these little dots are?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's done when you've splattered when it's dry, and then you've just left it. And I'm talking leaving it for a good 5 minutes. That's when it's slightly wet, so you get a real soft feathery effect. But that's when you do it on dry, and it's a really good way of doing stars, actually, sometimes.
Yeah.
A real good way to do that effect.
Oh,
Love
I
that.
the box.
Absolutely love it.
I was just going to show you how, because you said about pale colours, and actually the pale colours work extremely well.
Yeah, it does. That looks fabulous. And so this is just the artwork. I love it. The idea that you've drawn, that's the artwork that you've drawn that's on the download. And we're just going over with that. I don't even know where I put my outliner pen in the end. But just going over with that outliner pen and kind of just thickening it out a little bit. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's really nice with those pens. They work really, really well. And that's exactly actually what I did these with, was the Artliner brush pen, because it gives you that real sense of movement as well.
Yeah.
To have that thin and thick happening, it just, I don't know what it is. I think it just gives you movement and the simplicity of it, because you don't have to, we don't have to do full designs to be able to get the most out of these products. You can do something quite simple and it's really effective.
Yeah. Wow.
I love how versatile these are as mediums, because you've got the original demo and technique that we did that was almost quite, in inverted commas, traditional for what you might imagine doing as watercolours. Whereas the technique that we're on to now, it's super modern. It's something for everyone. It's absolutely wonderful. Just to let you all know, the Aquatint liquid set is on your screen right now. 15 of these. There's so many of you in on them. Diane is saying, I love it. And I really like the colours that you've used, Sara.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. I'm really liking them too. And it just shows you can pick up any colours you want. I'm going to get ready for the next, the feather bit. I'm going to get another piece of watercolour card out so we can do that. Yeah.
We've also had Nona messaging in saying, with the sparkle pens, is there any papers that they won't work on?
I'll let Bonnita answer. So I always say is, you can colour onto anything. However, if you're wanting to do the techniques that Bonnita was teaching, if you're wanting them to kind of move around about like that, then if you want to do that, then you want the special watercolour card. Would you say that's accurate, Bonnita?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. It can be used on any paper, straight from the pen. It can be used on any type of paper. But if you want to look at doing the watercolour techniques, you definitely need the watercolour paper. But other than that, yeah, absolutely fine on other card or print paper. Just don't oversaturate your paper.
Awesome. Right, okay. I've got a clean piece of paper. What colour do you reckon? Should I go with the blue like you had the blue for the feather?
Any colour you want for this.
Right.
Any colour you want, whatever takes your fancy.
Is a darker one better or lighter colour?
Again, it doesn't, because these are really pale, but they look really effective. So it really depends on whether you want a nice pale effect or whether you want something a bit stronger. So I think that's down to taste today. But maybe for the sake of, because of the cameras, it might be worth me doing dark. So if you want to do dark as well,
right.
I would go with the amethyst.
Right. Okay. I am right. I've got right. You do amethyst. I'll do aquamarine then.
Okay. So you can do this with most type of brushes, but sometimes the ones, I'm pretty sure they're filbert brushes, but the ones with the slight arch tops work, and so does square brushes, to be honest. But make sure it's a little bit damp, not too much. And then we're going to start with a little bit of colour. You really, really don't need a lot. Really don't. I think I've put it in pink garnet, not amethyst, so apologies. And I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm just going to put a little line. And I'm going to pull up, and then I'm going to come down again, almost like a lolly shape.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'm going to watch you once and then do it.
Yep. That's all we're going to do there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from the middle. I'm going to come all the way down. And then I'm going to pull out, and that gives us the tip. And what you probably can't see happening, there's a really thin light occurring just down the middle here. Once it dries, you'll be able to see it a bit better. Then I'm going to put my creative head on. I think I am going to grab the amethyst, which is, where did I put the amethyst?
You always want it when you're not looking for it. It's when you're in the middle of the live show and you're like, where is that? That's always. Me all the time.
So you don't want it very strong, but I'm trying to do it so you can see on the camera clearly. And I'm gently going to tap. Now, I love oversplats. That's my thing. You'll notice with all my watercolours. But when we're doing it on the damp here, you'll see it starting to spread out. Yeah. So I'm now going to clean my brush. There's no colour, just water. And then I'm going to tap again.
I'm pleased I'm watching first to learn before I do it. Because then you could do it again and I'll do it with you the second time.
Absolutely, yeah, we can do that. So if you don't want any of these over splats, you can either just use plain or you can protect it with a bit of masking tape or something. But I'm just going to leave that to sit, and hopefully you can start to see the colour being pulled out.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can as well.
Wow.
So a couple more seconds.
I can't believe how instantaneous that is, actually. I know you're leaving it a few seconds, but you can see it reacting really quickly.
Yeah, it's quite a satisfying process to watch, actually.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to lift up. And then that's the effect.
Wow, that's
right. Right.
And let me see if I can just very quickly pull out a bit more colour. Quite a strong colour, this one, but I think I'd need to do it 4 or 5 times down the middle and just leave it. And then while we're doing the next one, that can dry.
Right, I'm going for it.
Okay.
I've got a wet brush. I've got a wet brush, and actually I've still got a little bit of the rose quartz or the cosmos or something in here. Did you say I use it neat or water it down a lot?
Well, I'd water it down a bit. You don't want it too watered down, but you only want a small amount. The amount you have on your brush is more important to how strong the colour is, really.
Right, so not too much on your brush.
No, you just need a tiny amount. Honestly, this stuff goes so far, it's fantastic.
Right, so, okay.
So a line.
Yep.
You ready?
Yep, go
Line
on.
down the bottom. And then we're just going to go up. And then down the other side, and we can feel that you can go thinner, like I have here. I've rounded it. It looks a bit too lollipop for my liking. So I'm going to bring that down to a bit of a point down the bottom here, just to make it a little bit rounder.
Yep.
And I'm actually going to leave mine where I've got space in between. I quite like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave mine purposely. And because I've gone a little bit lighter, I'm going to grab a little bit more of the aquamarine. Then I'm going to go from the top down and out the edge. And I think on this one, we're going to add a little bit of wow factor. And all I'm going to do is at the very bottom here, where the feather meets the quill, I think. And then we're just going to do little tiny little feather strokes coming out.
That gives it a real sense of texture, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And then again, if you don't want this splatter effect happening, with the ink on your brush, just dab down in various places.
Oh, fab.
Right,
Looks
I'm
like a
going to go for the splatter
spot.
effect. So splatter effect, and I'll go with the slightly different shade. So I'll go with the blue now. Yeah. Oh, I'm nervous about splattering.
We've got faith in you. Oh, yeah, you can see that.
I think I'll get a tiny little bit more on.
I love that colour combination.
It's because they're from the same set.
They are.
And you see, we use professional people like Bonnita who help us to put the sets together. So it's not just an accident. We always mean to do that. Right, so you splatter the colour first, and then you splatter the clear one next to you.
Yeah, so depending on how precise you want the spots, you can either have them spread out. If I show you, hopefully it will see. So here was much wetter and it's quite soft the way it's spread out. But here it was drier, and you can see quite how precise those little spots are. So depending on the effect you want, you can either do it now or you can allow it to dry for a little bit.
I haven't got a great deal of patience, so we're doing it right now. What I mean is I'm raring to get going because I'm absolutely loving it. Right, I've got my different splats on.
That looks fab.
Right, do I go straight in now with the kitchen towel, or do I wait a moment?
Wait a few seconds, maybe 2-3 seconds. I've just gone over with some clean water on mine.
Yep.
You let it do those effects, so you can see the shine of the water on there now.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll lift them both off together. I'll get my kitchen roll.
Right.
You grab yours.
I'm ready. Oh, we're going for the split screen, so we're going to do the reveals together. Right, so
And
ready?
we're just going to go over the top. Just place your hands. Don't rub, just
All right.
place your hand.
She says after I've rubbed. You did tell us earlier not to do the rubbing. Right.
And then lift.
Oh, loving it, and I've just shown you my little papers. I love the little splattery effect around here. Apparently someone in the comments said Leanne was really good at this when you taught Leanne. I hope I'm up there with our Leanne.
You've both done an absolute cracking scene.
Brilliant. Do you know, I love that. They look brilliant. I could totally see me I could totally see me sitting doing half a dozen of these and just having that as a little framed piece of artwork. I love that. And to be honest, I kind of don't want to leave this here. I kind of want to take this home and frame this and put this on the wall at home.
You definitely should.
Do you know, Honestly, Bonnita, I am so thrilled with what I've learned this afternoon in the show. Like, I am absolutely, to have learned this, to have learned that feather technique, the llama that we did as well, and do the llama, my very, very modern, trendy looking watercolour flamingo there. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. Honestly, it's been wonderful. Like, do you mind showing everybody a few more bits of your artwork, Bonnita? Because we've had quite a few hundred new people join us, even since we started the show. So at least you know to go back and watch the show. My big recommendation, folks, is, someone haven't said it yet, get your messy table set up, get your aquatint jars out, sit and watch this back and do it along at the same time as me with Bonnita, and I want you to have the experience that I've had for the last 2 hours. Go and get lost in your own little world. It will blow you away what you can do. And then once you do that, then you're going to go and follow Bonnita over on YouTube, you're going to follow Bonnita on Instagram or Facebook, and go and inspire us with some more of your makes, Bonnita.
Okay. Right, so you saw this one earlier, didn't you? This was the one that was done with the sparkle pens. This was actually a really good way of doing a colour wheel, so it's quite a nice way of getting a bit of an effect. Apologies, by the way, if you lose me on voice, because apparently my headphones have decided they're running out of battery.
Oh, okay.
So this again was done with the pens.
I love that, it's so magical. Wow!
Wow! Now that is knock our socks off type of stuff.
This was done with the aqua tints.
Wow! Oh, way up! I love him.
Aqua tint pots. One of my favourites is. We saw her earlier.
She's gorgeous. So is that one. That is amazing.
You get lost in its eyes.
It's nice because you can go from something really subtle, really quite simple and clean, but have lots of movement, and then you can have something with a real bit of pow and all that from these products. So they are really, really amazing.
Fabulous.
They are just so inspirational. Oh, wow.
That's gorgeous. I love the way you've used the metallics in there with them as well.
And we saw that one, and we saw something else done with the markers. Yeah, that was done with the markers. So I had that underneath. But yeah, that's
Bonnita, this is
a good sample.
This has been wonderful. We will absolutely have to plan and do this again, because the feedback we've had from people live while we've been doing this is absolutely off the chart. People, if you want to see more of this, let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you want to learn. I love the idea of having Bonnita in. And actually, Bonnita, now that we're starting to come out of lockdown, we could even get you up in the studio here and you could come and teach us live in the studio. That would be fun. She's given me a bit of a... We're not scary at all. Honestly, we're not scary at all.
There are so many people, Bonnita, who are messaging in, just saying, the feathers look fantastic, I love them, saying, Elizabeth is saying, I've been too busy watching to even comment, but I want to say what a fab show. Thank you, Bonnita. We've had Mary in saying, it has been fascinating. I've absolutely loved it and forgot to comment as well. Speaking of comments, should we announce the winner of today's competition? Yeah, let's do it. So our winner for today's one, for the comment left on Facebook during the launch day show, was the lovely Aisha Dennison. So congratulations, you've got those goodies on their way to you. Bonnita, it's been absolutely amazing, hasn't it? I can't believe how fab this show, how quick it's gone as well.
Thank you so much, Bonnita. I can't thank you enough for coming in and teaching us all of this. It's been fabulous.
I've had so much fun, and look, in those 2 hours, how much work you've got done. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. Right. We'll absolutely have to get on and organise another one with another one of these with you. Thank you so much. You go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
And you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Do not forget, you can go and follow Bonnita on Bonnita Doodles. Head on over to her YouTube to be inspired even more. We are picking demo of the show.
Come on, is there any competition? I mean, are we even going to bother doing a vote?
There's no vote.
Right, I'm going to go and put this on the shelf now. Right there. Please vote for me on Sunday. Please vote for me on Sunday.
I think so many people are, because you can see how chuffed Sarah is with that. You would never be able to tell that technique hasn't been done before.
Where can I go? Let's have a look. I'm going to stand it up on here.
Sarah, when she was doing it, she was off camera, she kept going like, oh, do you think it's good? And do you know, like when your youngster comes in and goes, can we put my picture on the fridge? That's what Sarah's face looks like. That's how good this is. It looks fantastic. Sarah, thank you so much for looking after me today. I've had a brilliant time with you.
You can come back again, my dear, and I'll look after you again. Should we do it all again next week sometime?
I know, we should, right? We've got so much coming up for you this week. Don't forget, Craig is back in with you tomorrow, and you've also got more of your craft faults, etc. in that time. So thank you again. Thank you at home for joining us, and to the wonderful Bonnita. I hope to see you really soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, my love. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.